Welcome to episode 2 of the Jimmy B White Kenyan Road to Bigs podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of our training and our lives as we prepare for the Backyard Ultra Individual World Championships in Tennessee on October the 18th. If you're listening, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting us through the Backyard Ultra podcast Patreon page. Your backing is what makes this journey possible. And a massive thank you as well to Pato. Mate, thanks for bringing this idea to life and giving us the platform to share our story. You're a legend and such a special part of this Backyard Ultra community. So I'm here with my good mate, Ryan Crawford, aka the White Kenyan. Mate, how you going?
Good, thanks for having me,
Thanks for having me in your gym.
No, just to elaborate, I guess, on what James said, definitely thank the community and everyone that's going to go to the effort of listening to this, because, you know, me and James had talked about it a bit, and we really want to make sure, like, when we go to Bigs, that we actually bring the Australian ultra community with us and have that support behind us. So, yeah, this is another stepping stone that helps us get there. So we really appreciate it.
So, mate, what did we get up to yesterday?
Well, yeah, yesterday we started just around 11-ish. End up doing one of our training blocks we do. We end up doing I think it was about 14 hours in the end. Went up to Mother Mountain up my way here, and it's quite a decent climb. So we put ourselves through the punishing training that we know we need to do to, you know, get yourself in the good state and good, you know, physical toughness, ready for what's ahead. And it's got a lot of elevation, so it wasn't necessarily a long distance run, this one, but it was a lot of elevation just to help the process towards Bigs, because the Bigs Force has got a lot of elevation each day. So we thought that would be a great training block towards what's coming. So another great mission.
Man, it was one of my favourite mountains, I think. Mother Mountain up here near Gympie. 380 metres vert in 1.6k. I actually don't know any other place where you can get that kind of vert in that distance.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be up around that 380 to 400 each rep. Obviously, I had a look this morning on a bit of my Strava and that. I see the points do cut out here and there. So, because you know how we say the reception wasn't that good there.
Yeah,
it's a decent climb. Like even the Pomona one that we often do, that it's actually slightly, the Mother Mountain's slightly higher, which is, you know, what we were talking about. It's hard to believe because when you're there, you can't really see the big point like you can see on a lot of the mountains. And I guess, like you said, yeah, it's a great little mountain with the terrain too. You've got the rainforest. There's a few different kind of landscapes, and, you know, the fauna around's a lot different. You know, there's rock pools at the bottom. It's isolated, yeah. And the other thing that I thought was really great about that is, like, I've been out there myself a few times, but just I knew with all the trip hazards and the rocks and the Bigs course is, like, anyone that's done that knows that it's relentless with the trip hazards and rocks. So getting your ankles and the muscles movement, it's all part of the process of training, like, you know, building those muscle roots that are going to get ready for what you're about to mimic. So
there was rocks, roots, leaves, trip hazards everywhere.
Yeah, so you're
100% concentrating.
Yeah,
100% like effort of feet, ankles, and you know, I rolled a couple of times, but not too bad.
Yeah.
But you were definitely on the whole time. And then we had that. Well, we did about 10 times up and down the mountain, 4,000 vert. But we also had that one longer loop where we went off the backside, and then
that's right,
12k on fire trail, which was really nice.
Yeah,
and we finished with a yard as well. So it's that really specific training.
That's exactly right. I forgot to just mention that too, was exactly right. We did that 14k loop, but we also, each rec, instead of doing what we have done in previous ones, like, you know, go straight back to the car, it was actually a 500 meter rainforest circuit. So we made sure every time we got to the bottom of the car, instead of just, you know, filling up and going straight back up, we come down to the bottom and then did this 500 meter loop and going through the beautiful rainforest. But it's not hilly at all. It's just like a bit of flat and a few little step up bits, but it allowed you to continue that practice of, you know, when your legs are smashed and then jog it back out. So, you know, that same process that you need. So yeah, we did a few loops like that, which got us a few extra Ks, and then, like you said, finished with a yard. So yeah, it was another good session done.
Yeah, man. So we're going to start with the important stuff, and that's our current health.
Yeah.
And we both had blood tests done, and there's been some pretty interesting results of those. So I'm going to start with you. Maybe just run us through what's been happening with you and what the outcomes of your blood tests were.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was an interesting topic. Like, so I probably wouldn't even have got my bloods done really. Like anyone that knows me really well knows I'm a bit like, you know, with the mental toughness, like, oh, she'll be right kind of thing. And James got his done and he'll go through his results and that, you know, as well. But I was he's like, oh, you should get yours done. And I was just humming and hawing, like, do I? And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do it right, we're going to share our journey like we said we were going to, like the real ins and outs and the deep behind the scenes. I thought I'll get it done. And, you know, I kind of had a feeling like maybe I'd have a few little things like, so in the past, I'd been slightly low in the iron in 2 years ago, and I kind of got, you know, on some iron supplements, and I really never actually went back and followed it up, saying I was talking about. I just think, oh, she'll be right. I feel all right. Like, I end up winning a few events and, you know, having a few good runs. So I thought I recorrected it. So anyway, one of the things in my blood tests were I was like ridiculously low on iron. I was only at a level 10 in the ferritin levels of the iron, which yet in the guidelines, you're meant to be sitting around the 30 to 320. So I was 10. I was pretty much borderline anemic, like as in even the doctors like, what the hell, like, and you know, I'm looking back on the last couple of events, what I've done, I've been so fatigued, so flat. And I pretty much reckon that was nearly like the nail on the head of what's been going on. Like I'm just, no wonder a dead cow and things like that. I felt like I was running on empty. I just think my iron levels have been so low for so long. So that was for me, like, yeah, you're like, oh, you're low and you're disappointed, but it was such a positive because now I can start to recorrect it. So from that point, I end up booking in, got an iron infusion there the other week, which helped get the levels back up. And, you know, now it's a process of I've got to still take iron supplements from now until, you know, obviously for a fair few months to come, but at least now the time Biggs comes, I'll be in phenomenal shape and just recorrecting those levels. So the next thing, you know, that's the iron. That was a real important thing for me, the iron, obviously. But I was slightly low on the B12 as well, which is obviously I'll go into that after. I'm plant-based, so you can be, you know, that's sometimes harder to get that stuff in than normal. But I was low on the B12, so I booked in. I got, you know, the 3 B12 injections. I've had one and I've got another 2 to go because you need to have them a week apart. So recorrect that. That wasn't too bad, but it was still low. My magnesium and zinc were slightly low too, which was, I thought, you know, some things would be low, but, you know, they weren't too bad for me. I was just slightly under. So that was another supplement that I've been implementing now was, you know, making sure I have the magnesium with the vitamin C. The zinc with the vitamin C and then getting in the magnesium. They were probably the 4 things that I need to recorrect in that and just, you know, get my mind and the body back to the shape it needs to be in. So for me, that was like a major positive because if it wasn't for James, you know, telling me to go do it, I probably wouldn't have done it. And then I could have had the same thing as I had a couple of years ago over at Biggs. You know, you go over and have another, you know, shit performance. So I'm really glad that's happening and, you know, just such a positive. Like I'll go into more from that, but that's basically my result. So let James share what he kind of has come up with.
Yeah, and I think just both of us just getting that baseline blood work done just to check everything.
Yeah.
I think even the listeners and anyone running backyards, you should be doing it and you should be doing it every 6 months. Yeah, it's just ridiculous to be going into these events not knowing what your levels are and what could be better. And because we do, like I'm a balanced diet. I eat meat and stuff like that. So I was still low in iron. So my ferritin was 53. And that's in the normal ranges, but for an endurance athlete, it's recommended to be 60 and above. So I've gone and had the iron infusion last week. And you're just thinking, you know, you want to get the most out of yourself. And I'm stoked for both of us that we've both gone and done this. And I've had some other interesting results out of my bloods. But the iron is a huge thing.
Yeah, and just before you go on and continue your bloods, I remember, like, I want to say as well, like, so that's exactly right. Like, being plant-based, which we'll go into more after, but like, yeah, you're going to be lower, but that's just because you're a person that eats meat and whatever, it doesn't mean you're not necessarily low because we are such ultra endurance athletes. Yeah. All our levels, they said, even for me, you're sweating that much every day, the amount of training, the foot strike we've talked about, burning iron out of your feet. Like, so it's,
Yeah, we are flogging ourselves.
Exactly.
And we need to be on top. And it's so easy to go down to a pathology center and get blood taken. They're everywhere. There's more centers around than there are Maccas. It's just, they're everywhere. So just go get it done, go get your baseline work and and you can really sort out a plan from there. So we both had the iron infusions, and I think that's just so good for us coming into into bigs. So yeah, a few things from me. So my liver and kidney function were good. So those recovery systems are working well. My vitamin D was really good, which is the bones, the hormones, the immunity. My IGF-1, that's the recovery hormone. It was nice and strong. So my body's adapting to training. And testosterone as well is sitting in the healthy range. So testosterone is an interesting one though, because it can go up to 700 in the range. I'm at 300, so that could easily be better as well. I'm not looking at that at the moment, but it's something that you can be improved. All my immune system markers were stable, and I had some infections and things lately, and just a chest infection. So yeah, most of it was looking good, but the area that I had an issue with was my PSA. So my prostate marker came back high, and that's a bit of a concern. So yeah, my dad's had the prostate removed in his late 60s. He's all right. He's still alive. So he's about 80 now. And I went back and had another blood sample taken for PSA, and it actually went from 6 to 9. So then I'm in the area of, now you need to go have an MRI, see a urologist. So that's been like another hurdle on the way to just like all the stuff that I've been going through with my foot. And then I sort of got back. The recovery from my foot was a bit from the surgery that I had on the neuroma, removing that sort of took longer than I would have liked. Got back into training, the foot was still sore. Then I got a chest infection. I just kept getting knocked down, and you just keep standing up and moving forward. But then I got this, so I was actually seeing a urologist on Thursday. MRI was normal. All the other testing's been normal. So what we're going to do is I will race bigs, and I will then come back and get another blood test done, and we'll work it out from there. But yeah, I'm fairly confident everything's okay, but it's just an interesting high reading for a person my age. So yeah, as I said, my ferritin, so my iron was 53. That's fine for general health, but it's a bit low for endurance performance. So yeah, we've gotten that topped up. And yeah, my zinc was a bit low. My cholesterol was slightly above ideal, and my B12 was good, but not optimal for performance. So as I said, been saying to you, I might go and get the B12 shots as well.
Yeah.
So my plan is to focus on prostate-friendly foods like tomatoes, broccoli, green tea, pomegranate, and then follow up that medically as well. Boosting iron, and yeah, just probably supplement vitamin B. I'm supplementing zinc. I always have magnesium before bed. I think magnesium is great for sleep. So I always have magnesium. But yeah, the bottom line is my foundation's pretty good, but just a few tweaks in diet and supplements, plus following up that PSA result. Hopefully I unlock even better endurance performance. But it's been a pretty crazy journey for both of us on the bloods.
The magnesium, the zinc too. Like I used, to have some supplements here and there, but I was never consistent with it. So like that's why, that was another good, thing to remind myself. So just starting to stay a bit, you were saying you had the magnesium. I wasn't having that very often these days. So just, installs that dedication, discipline to make sure you do it. So
yeah,
just getting in that. So I think it's going to be a great outcome now. So
I'm stoked for you. You've had 2 years of running on fumes.
And I've also had the last, me and, because you know me more than better than anyone, that the last few events I've been pretty disappointed in the outcomes. And
yeah,
I can pretty much definitely guarantee, being nearly anemic has been one of the freaking major problems. So yeah, it's such a positive now. And I'm actually going to probably be getting one more shot because I was so low, they mentioned that like I'll only still be up around the 100 or whatever, and I could, just still, because I'm at the moment I'm in beast training, as you know, so I'm still burning all my levels. So I'm actually booked in to get one more blood test in, not next week, the week after, and then if I am still low, and they said we'll probably even get one more infusion in that week and a half before I leave. So then I'll just be firing. So
yeah, where I was at 53, my doctor said you'll probably go close to 300 from this, but it'll takes like 4 weeks.
Yeah, and so what was the other thing as well? So because James was probably slightly high when he got his infusion, they always say the doctors say don't do too much the next day, so to speak. And my doctor, because I was so low, he told me remember, to anyone that knows me and follows me, I said the other day when I was on a post that I've got to have a day off running the next day because and I said, I'll let you know when we do the podcast. And that was the reason why I had the day off because I got the iron infusion and my doctor knows the mad training I do. So he's like, do not train. And he told me in the end when I went there, I thought it was only 24. He told me to take 48 hours. And I was just like laughing at him because I haven't had 48 hours off training in, like 10 years or something.
If you want to hear the rest of Jimmy B and the White Kenyan episode 2, you can go to the Backyard Ultra Podcast Patreon page and download it there for a small fee. All money goes to the Jimmy B and the White Kenyan. Thanks.